Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Mckola. This is your morning news. Welcome. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you're anything like me, after that last Manchester United game, you're not feeling good at all. And these newspaper headlines don't make it much better either, because the newspapers are absolutely going to town on discontent, unhappiness, a disharmonious squad, no team spirit, all of the above at Manchester United. And the Daily Mail have even gone as far this morning as to say Man United face an exodus. Listen to this. As 17 first team stars are unhappy, with Cavani, Pogba and Van der Beek amongst those, in a divided squad potentially leaving before next season. That's what we're discussing in this morning's news. And we've got loads more as well, including stories on Ruben Neves and Donny van der Beek. So make sure you're keeping it locked, liking, commenting, sharing, and of course hitting that subscribe button as well. As I said, this story is by the Daily Mail, and I popped onto Twitter. I haven't been on much Twitter recently. Popped onto Twitter and seen people losing their minds over a few of these articles and stories and potential leaks that are coming out. Now, one, you expect the British media to make hay whilst they can, especially about Manchester United, and that's what I think we're seeing at the moment. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if there's one or two leaks, but I'd say out of all of this reporting, probably 20% of it, 30% of it has truth, and there is a few, or there are a few unhappy players within the dressing room. Of course everyone's going to be unhappy, we're not winning. But I think it's a lot easier to believe all of these stories when things are going so bad at Manchester United. But also, like I said, there has to be some semblance of truth to these stories, because they don't just come out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? And it is a disastrous time for United fans at the moment. At least it feels that way. Because when you look at the performance that we saw on the pitch against Wolverhampton Wanderers, it was just nowhere near good enough. And now, look, let's look at this story first. They say a staggering total of 17 players are said to be unhappy. Yesterday, that number was 11. So do you see what I mean? These numbers just keep getting inflated and made bigger. And when you look at this list, yeah, a lot of the players that they've included in this 17 unhappy players list are players whose contracts are ticking down, or players that Manchester United probably don't care whether they stay or not. Like Jesse Lingard, we know he's leaving. He might be unhappy, but we know he's leaving on a free transfer. Paul Pogba, the same. Cavani, Mata, the same. Van der Beek, we know. Dean Henderson. Now, Eric Bailly has been involved a bit recently, but his name's still popping in here. Feels like an easy one, that, to just say, oh yeah, Eric Bailly's unhappy, because he's potentially been looking for a move before, or could be on the move. They've even gone as far as saying Phil Jones is unhappy. A man that played for the first time in 2 years, left the pitch almost in tears. It was hats off to Phil Jones. I thought it was incredible that day, especially considering he'd been out for so long and managed to play 90 minutes and put his body on the line like that and perform like that when the rest of the squad around him didn't. And there's a picture of the players coming out of the tunnel, and Phil Jones is the only one that looks anything like a Manchester United player. Also in this list, Nemanja Matic, Diogo Dalot and Fred, which I think says it all. Because if anyone's unhappy at Man United, and I mean this in a sense of leaking stuff and that, the last person I'd think it'd be would be Fred. Pastor Fred ain't doing that. And that's what I mean. At the moment, I think there's a lot of stories, there's a tinge of truth to them, but I think a lot of these stories that were 17 players, come on, man. So I think a lot of these newspapers at the moment are just capitalising on this poor run of form. And I say poor run of form, we've lost one game. I think it mainly comes down to the fact that the performances have been so poor. But you've got to expect some teething issues, some period of time where the manager is trying to get his message across and it's not quite translating. We saw this kind of thing when players are overloaded with information. We saw it with Van Gaal. Van Gaal had the fortune of having a pre-season. But when you overload players with information, it takes a while to start seeing the results of that, because they're overthinking things on the pitch. Saw it with Klopp's Liverpool. in the early days. Now, they had a worse squad than us in the early days under Klopp. But, you know, if you haven't got the players to implement the system that the manager wants to do, I think you're going to end up seeing more performances like this. And to be honest, when you look at that list of players that want to leave, and you look at the list of players that are playing for Man United, it's no surprise, especially when you look at that midfield area, how we can expect to be this modern, pressing, high energetic team with that quality of midfield. I don't think it's ever going to happen. We see teams come to Old Trafford, whether they're Aston Villa, whether they're Everton, whether they're Wolves, and have better midfielders than us. Talking about that, TalkSport were reporting, and Sky Sports were also reporting, Graham Bailey as well, that Manchester United are leading the chase to sign Ruben Neves. Now, it's believed that Wolves want £50 million for him. And considering United probably could have got him a little bit cheaper in the summer, I'm not sure about that one. And it was typical, weren't it? A player we've been linked to coming to Old Trafford and absolutely pulling our pants down. And he bossed us off the park. Him and Moutinho in there, little magician, just knocking the ball around us. And we're being linked with him now. And I kind of feel there's nothing in this, to be totally honest with you. Graham Bailey reported, Man United remain keen on Ruben Neves and are open to the possibility of making a bid this month. Wolves are understood to be ready to listen to offers and have indicated to his intermediaries that they would sanction a deal if their asking price is met. I don't know, is it just because he had a good performance at United, or is there some truth in that? I wouldn't mind there being truth in that, because like I said, he's better than both of those midfielders that started for us against Wolves. He's better than Fred as well. And it'd be nice to have some midfielders that can pass the ball. But again, is he suited to the high energy pressing style that Rangnick wants to play? Who knows? What does Rangnick think about that? A midfielder that hasn't been playing under Rangnick, and a midfielder that, I don't know if we ever see him play for Man United again. This is such a strange state of affairs. It's making me wonder. Under Ollie, I was sitting there saying, I need to see Van der Beek given more of an opportunity, because how can we prove anything otherwise? But to not then play under the next manager is a bit strange. But it says Man United will not sanction a deal to allow Donny van der Beek to leave Man United in January. Is this a hostage type situation? I don't get it. Why won't we sanction that deal? If we're not going to play him, he's just going to lose value sitting on the bench. I don't understand why you'd keep an unhappy player around in the squad, because that's not going to... Those are the kind of things that are going to lead to the leaks that we're seeing. I see people say the leaks could come from Luke Shaw, from Dean Henderson, from this, from that, from Eric Bailly. You know, I think Henderson and Eric Bailly are the names that pop up the most. Now, I don't know where the leaks coming from, if there in fact are any leaks, because like I said before, these people like to talk shit as well and lie in the press. But we need to stop them, man. We need to stop. We need to fix up very, very quickly, because this season could get a lot messier. And on that delightful note, I'm going to leave you guys to it. But make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Like, comment, share, keep it locked. Let us know your thoughts on Neves, Donny van der Beek, and the 17 players that want to leave. 17. That's insane. See you later.